If you've been struggling with peptic ulcer and you've tried to fix it but it still persists, then please pay attention. Because by the end of this video, you will understand the root cause of ulcer and most importantly, how to heal them for good and never have them come back again. No gimmicks. I know this because I personally healed myself of stomach ulcers naturally without relying on endless rounds of antibiotics that did not work. I tried them but they didn't work. If you've been following my series on TikTok and Instagram, you know that I'm passionate about gut health and healing. Today, I'm sharing my own personal journey, which would hopefully be very useful for people that are suffering from stomach ulcers. Over time, I developed a holistic approach that not only helped me heal, but completely transformed my digestive health. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to heal your gut naturally using science-backed methods that actually work. Stomach ulcers are not that hard to heal. You just need to create the right environment, avoid triggers, and promote healing through the right foods and probiotics. Welcome to Gramott Wellness. This is where we'll talk about health, wellness, and living your best life. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do so. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And please like and don't forget to share this useful information with someone that may need it. Okay, now let's move ahead. If you've been struggling with stomach pain or indigestion, you've probably been told, oh, don't get hungry, avoid spicy foods. But let me tell you something. Ulcers are not caused by merely skipping food or eating spicy meals alone. The common causes, like some of us already know, the H. pylori bacteria. And you know, the thing about H. pylori is that it affects about half of the world's population. Yeah, but not everyone gets to have ulcers. So why are we the unfortunate ones to develop ulcers? And I'll say that is because of our lifestyle, and we'll get into that. H. pyloris are usually picked up most times as kids. We pick up H. pylori as kids, and a lot of people are able to cohabit with H. pylori peacefully without any problem. So if H. pylori starts to give you problems, then something is wrong with your gut environment, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. Another cause of ulcers are long-term use of NSAIDs. NSAIDs are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like the ibuprofens of this world. Long-term use can also lead to ulcer, so be very careful. Another cause of ulcer that we hardly talk about is actually low stomach acids. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, ulcers are actually caused by lower stomach acids than the higher acids that we usually would think is a problem. Low acids prevent proper digestion and allows H. pylori to thrive, because if you have the right amount of acid, the H. pylori will not be able to thrive and then colonize your entire digestive system. The normal pH of the stomach is between 1.5 to 3, which makes our stomachs highly acidic. This acidity is very crucial for digestion and killing harmful bacteria like H. pylori. However, when your stomach acid starts to get less acidic, there are some certain sensors in your valves that will not close properly because the acidity makes it to close. As a result, acid can start splashing out, leading to acid reflux, indigestion, and a host of other symptoms, because now the acid is where it's not meant to be. So this differentiates acid reflux from stomach ulcers, because you can have acid reflux and not necessarily have an ulcer. So with acid reflux, what you want to do is make your stomach more acidic so that sphincter will close. And the way to go about this is to consciously increase the acidity of your stomach by taking some certain foods like apple cider vinegar before your meals. Still on stomach acid is very important because it actually helps you to break down food properly. It helps to digest your food in the small intestine before passing it to the larger intestine. It also helps to kill harmful bacteria and pathogens and make them not to thrive. And it also helps to trigger the enzymes that are needed for proper absorption of food. Now, the reason why the conversation about stomach acid is very important is that a lot of times doctors prescribe something called PPIs. They are called proton pump inhibitors to reduce acid production. Now you can see that there's a problem there. And I'm not saying that it does not work. It works in the short term to relieve you of your symptoms, but they often come with side effects and they do not even solve the problem. In fact, they make it complicated in the long run because you need your stomach acid to be at optimal levels. So if you're already on some kind of medication for treating your ulcer and it's not working, or anytime you stop it, you start to have the symptoms. Now you know why. And now I want to also clarify on antibiotics use and why they do not always work. Antibiotics are given to, get rid of the H. pylori, which makes sense if you think about it. But they failed me. And maybe they also failed you as well. And I'll tell you why. Number one, antibiotic resistance. H. pylori can actually develop resistance, making it less effective. Number two, poor adherence. A lot of us do not take our medications properly or at the right time. Some of us miss our medications, especially when the dose and the duration is long. Number three, gut bacterial damage. These antibiotics actually destroy our gut bacteria. Antibiotics kills all bacteria, including the good ones, which destroys our gut flora because some of these bacteria are protecting our guts and then causes further damage. So it does not address the root of the problem. So because of this, if you do not fix and address the root cause, which is taking care of your gut, you'll be back to the same cycle over and over and over again. For me, after my antibiotics failure, I just stopped taking them. I knew that I had to rebuild my gut. There was a time I was admitted for ulcer back to back. It was terrible. I had like craziest digestive issues. So even if you take antibiotics, you must replenish your gut with probiotics so you can truly heal. A 2015 World Journal on Gastroenterology found that probiotics can reduce antibiotic side effects by 41%. So now let's get to the root of the matter, because I know this is the moment you've been waiting for. How do I get to heal my ulcers naturally? The first thing is to get a proper diagnosis. If you've never gone for a test, please go and do a test, because you need to know what you are dealing with. Are we dealing with just normal stomach ulcers? Is there H. pylori involved? Are the ulcers bleeding? This is actually important because it helps to know the severity of your problem. So please go get tested. And if you've been tested and positive for H. pylori before and the symptoms still persist, then it's safe to assume that it's not been taken care of. The next thing is to incorporate healing teas and herbs. I know that a lot of us know about these things. We use them to cook regularly. We use them for so many things, but we do not really make the best use of these things in healing our bodies. And I'm going to list them here on the screen. Healing teas are very important because they soothe our bodies. Some of them also help to eradicate H. pylori, and they also help to fix our gut and our digestive tracts. For example, cloves, licorice roots, golden seal. These are three powerful herbs that help to eradicate H. pylori, and some of them are actually readily available. There's a study by University of Chicago that found out that golden seal is highly effective at eradicating H. pylori. I understand that our tolerance levels are different depending on the severity of your symptoms. Some people may not be able to tolerate teas, especially on an empty stomach. So you can eat while you build tolerance, but it's always better to take them on an empty stomach at least 30 minutes before your meals. The next thing is to incorporate fermented foods in your everyday diets. If you've been following my TikTok and my Instagram series, you will see where I spoke about fermented foods like sauerkraut. They are very crucial, and you must include them in your meals every single day. So just find one that resonates with you, and I'll highly recommend cabbage. With cabbage, you can make cabbage juice, which is also very effective against healing stomach ulcers. You don't have to take all of them at the same time. You can just pick one or two that is easy, maybe Greek yogurt and fermented cabbage juice. The next thing you want to do is to eat healing foods. You can't be trying to treat something and be eating foods that would aggravate or cause further problems for you. And in this ulcer healing journey, it's very important to know what triggers you, because sometimes what triggers person A may not trigger person B. So you have to pay attention to your body. You need to understand what triggers me. You need to pay very close attention. Is it after I eat? Is it before I eat? Can I tolerate ginger? Can I tolerate lemon? I could tolerate lemon. Some people cannot tolerate lemon. Some people cannot tolerate ginger. So please pay attention. But generally, you can eat foods like bananas, oatmeal, watermelon. Just make sure that whatever you're eating per time would not irritate you, especially at the beginning of your healing journey. You want to keep it very safe, spice-free, little oil, so that you're not aggravating your symptoms. Don't stay away from spicy foods, caffeine, alcohol, overeating, which is actually a big problem, because remember, at this point in time, it's possible that your stomach acid is very low. So if you eat a lot of food, you're putting a lot of pressure on your digestive system, and this can also now lead to vomiting. So it's very important that you eat smaller foods, but I would advise that you drink your water at least 30 minutes before meals. Why? Because drinking water further makes your stomach less acidic. So you have less acid as you're eating and you're drinking water. you have less acid to digest the meals that you're eating at that time. And whatever fluids you want to have them like 30 minutes before your meals. And if you can tolerate apple cider, you can take apple cider 30 minutes before your meals to increase the acidity. And then when you eat, it quickly breaks it down in the small intestine before pushing it down to the larger intestine. Now, I want to talk about the power of cabbage in healing ulcers. Cabbage are fantastic in healing ulcers. They contain a compound called glucosinolate, which can also help to destroy H. pylori and heal ulcers, and just restore your body to the optimal level that it needs. So incorporate cabbage as much as possible in your daily routine. If you have thyroid issues, please don't eat cabbage raw. You can steam them lightly, but don't overcook. Don't pour them in like a big pot of water. Just steam them lightly for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. They will still retain up to 90% of the active compounds. If you can tolerate it, you can also eat them raw. With cabbage, you can make cabbage juice. It's very great at relieving ulcers and healing them. You can make fermented cabbage juice. I have these recipes on my Instagram and my TikTok, so you can go check them out there. I also have them on my shop, and you can also make sauerkraut with cabbage. Another thing also is that a lot of people that develop stomach ulcers have been found to be deficient in zinc, and there's a particular form of zinc. It is called zinc carnosine. Zinc carnosine, it blocks H. pylori's activity and enzymes, making it hard to thrive. So you want to supplement on zinc. If you can find zinc carnosine, that's best for you. Also, if you can get digestive enzymes and supplements to help to digest your meal, that would also be great. All these that I've said, let me put it down into a step-by-step routine. This is what I did for my own treatment. I wake up in the morning, I take a mug of herbal tea. I was using just cloves and green tea, not too strong. I started doing that first thing in the morning, and I make sure that it cools down so that it's not hot, so my stomach would not revolt. After like 1 hour, then I go take a cup of my probiotics, which would be my fermented cabbage juice. Go about my business. I come for lunch about like 12. Lunch, breakfast, whatever you want to call it, because I was still fasting intermittently. If you can fast intermittently, it is highly recommended, because like I said, food is not really the solution. I understand that sometimes if your stomach is empty, the acids may irritate the wound, making you to want to eat. But it depends on your body. Like I said, listen to your body. Food is not always the solution. So for me, I could stay till 12 p.m. and then I could have raw cabbage. By afternoon, like around 3-4, I now have like my major meal. It could be anything that I'm eating for the day, but I'll make sure that it's not spicy and it's not so hot and does not have a lot of oil. I did this for approximately 1 month, and I just realized that I was fine. One day I could wake up and I was fine. After about 2 weeks, I started incorporating apple cider vinegar to also increase the acidity of my stomach. That was what I did, and I got better. By the time I went for the H. pylori test, it was gone. It was gone. Now I can eat anything, I can tolerate anything, but I still continue with my lifestyle because I don't want to find myself back there again. From time to time, there are some things and probiotics that I still incorporate into my system. In fact, I drink fermented cabbage juice almost every day. Healing is a process, so you must listen to your body. If you have severe acid reflux, you can consider taking hydrochloric acid tablets to help you digest your meals while you build up your tolerance and build up your stomach acid naturally. Healing your gut takes time, but it depends on how much you want it. Give yourself about a month and follow everything religiously, and you'll be smiling in no time. If you've been following my series on Instagram and TikTok, I've been talking about the ulcer protocol. I'm excited to share that the full protocol is now available. It includes a step-by-step healing guide, shopping list, full timetable and guidelines, stage-by-stage healing plan, and everything that you need to know to get rid of H. pylori and heal your ulcers for good. So please click on the link in the description to get yours. If this video helped you, please leave a comment. I want to know your struggles. I want to know your thoughts. I also want to know your experience. These things are not always a one-size-fits-all, so it's important to share your experience so we can support each other and also know where we can tweak some of the solutions. Don't forget to share this with somebody that will need it. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do so. You'll be helping us grow. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.